In today's podcast, you'll learn how to improve your English pronunciation, specifically how to pronounce consonants when they are together in a word, like stop and twelfth. Welcome to
Aprender Inglés with Reza and Craig.
Hi, I'm Reza.
And my name's Craig.
And with nearly 60 years of teaching between us, we are here to help you improve your English and take it up to the next level. Well, Craig, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I'm very excited to talk about a little pronunciation with you this week. Do you remember the last time we did a podcast on pronunciation?
Specifically, 100% about pronunciation quite a while ago. Do you happen to know?
Well, I know the last general podcast on it was July the 9th, 2023, and we're recording this 2 years later. So it's been at least 2 years since we've spoken about pronunciation.
It's time we did it then.
It's well past the time we did it, yes. And this week we're talking about consonant clusters. A cluster is a group of things that are together. And you know that the alphabet is divided into vowels, consonants. So when consonants come together in a group, it can sometimes be difficult to pronounce them, can't it?
Yeah, for native speakers as well. So don't be embarrassed if sometimes you have a group of consonants together and you find it difficult to pronounce. It happens to native speakers too. So what are consonant clusters? Well, we've already said it's when you get different consonant sounds together. And you might think, oh, well, that's easy then. I'll look at the spelling, and when I see lots of consonants together, that's a cluster. Not necessarily so. You might be wrong in English. Let me explain myself. A consonant cluster is when two or more consonant sounds, let me stress again the word consonant sounds, appear together in a word, without any vowel sounds in between. But don't confuse letters with sounds in English. I know, if you're a Spanish speaker, it's the same thing. A letter's a sound. Not in English. If only it were. Well, if it were, maybe Craig and I wouldn't have had such a successful podcast, because English pronunciation is not easy because of that. Letters are not necessarily sounds in English. So, let me repeat. A consonant cluster is when two or more consonant sounds, we don't care how many letters, two or more sounds appear together. Craig, can you give us a few examples?
Yes, the first two words that come to mind, both beginning with ST, stop and street. Now, if you're a Spanish speaker, you might be very tempted to put a little sound in front of those two words. So you might say stop or street. No, it's just stop and street. So it's a good idea while we are going through these examples that you repeat them after us. That's called shadowing, which, by the way, was the last time we did a podcast on this, back in episode 474, shadowing and echoing. Go back to inglespodcast.com/474. So repeat the words with us so that you are practicing at home while we are giving you examples. Stop and street. What are you doing? Stop. Stop sending me those cat videos, Reza.
So we've had stop, we've had street, both beginning with the letter S. Here's one beginning with the letter C. Crunch. C-R-U-N-C. Crunch, that sound. Crunch is another consonant cluster. Here's one. Can you spot the consonant cluster in the word gangster? Gangster. The consonant cluster is the bit.
Can you say that again, please? The ngst bit.
The G, the S, and the T. Gangster.
Gangster. Gangster rap. Robbed is the next one. You've got there R-O-B-B-E-D, and when you have a word that ends in a voiced consonant, Craig, what's a voiced consonant? Well, it's a consonant like B, where if you put your hand on your throat or on the top of your head, you can feel some vibration because the voice box in your throat is activating. So B is a voiced consonant. And then you've got the ED, which is a D after a voiced consonant. So listen, robbed. Say it with me. Robbed. They robbed the bank, or she was robbed.
Yeah, just to remind you what I said earlier, look at the spelling and the word ends B, ED. And you might think, well, that couldn't be a consonant cluster because we got B, which is a consonant, followed by E, which is a vowel, followed by D, which is a consonant. So that can't be a cluster. Well, it is because, as Craig just said, the E is silent. So the sound B goes beside the sound D. So it is a consonant cluster. Even though a vowel is written, there is no vowel sound. You see what I was driving at earlier now?
Driving? Where are you driving to?
Not driving anywhere. To drive at something can mean trying to really emphasize a point. I was driving at the fact that the letters are not what decides if something is a sound in English.
And I think you drove it home. You made it clear. You drove it home. The next word is extremely difficult to pronounce. I'll spell it first. It's a number. Well, actually, it's an ordinal number. It's TWELFTH, and it comes between 11 and 13 when it's an ordinal. And the pronunciation is 12th. So 12 is the cardinal number, and 12th is with a TH, and it's the ordinal number. So listen carefully. 12th. Now you have to play with your tongue here. It goes in and out of the teeth, and you just have to move your tongue around until you get that th. So the F, the F sound, the F is your teeth touching the bottom lip to make the F sound, and then immediately you bring out your tongue to get that TH, th. 12th, 12th. And even more tricky is when it's a plural. For example, as a fraction, you might say twelfths, twelfths.
That is not an easy word to say.
You say it.
Twelfths.
Twelfths.
Really difficult. If you count them, let's count. We got L, 1, 2, 3, and 4 when it's the plural.
4 sounds.
4 consonant sounds together.
Yeah.
Twelfths.
So as you can see from those examples, the combinations of these consonant clusters, the consonant cluster can be at the beginning of the word, as in st stop, can be in the middle, like Reza's example, gangster, and it can be at the end with the ed after b with robbed. These consonant clusters can appear in different parts of the word, or a combination, as in the last one, twelfths.
Yes, because in twelfths, there was also a consonant cluster at the start, the twa. So we got twa, and then we got lths. One at the beginning. In fact, we've only got a quick vowel sound in the middle of all that. We got twa plus lths.
It's quite a lonely vowel in the middle there. Poor
Twelfths. We got one at the beginning and one at the end.
Poor vowel sitting there in the middle all on its own. Now, as Reza said before, be careful with these sounds because some words look like they have a consonant cluster, but they don't have a consonant cluster. For example, the CH in chat, ch, is considered one consonant sound, as Reza mentioned before. So even though it's 2 letters, we just ch, one sound, chat.
And how would you know that this ch, ch, is considered one consonant sound? Well, that's when the International Phonetic Alphabet comes in handy, the IPA. Not the beer. We do like IPA beer as well, but we're talking about the International Phonetic Alphabet.
I actually prefer the IPA beer to the IPA alphabet.
It is more enjoyable, that's true.
It's more interesting, isn't it?
But if you look at the phonetic symbols of the IPA, you will see that as far as English is concerned, when you get the letters CH, they're most of the time pronounced ch, which is represented in one symbol. So one symbol means one sound. So even though there are two letters, it's one consonant sound. Therefore, it is not a cluster because you just make one sound, the sound ch, chat.
And think of the word night, N-I-G-H-T. The G-H in the middle of night is silent. So even though you've got letters there, they're not pronounced in night.
Another example of what looks like a consonant cluster but isn't is the word path, P-A-T-H. So you've got TH at the end. However, TH is another of what these things like CH is. It's a digraph. It's one sound made up of two letters. So in English, TH is pronounced th. So path is not a consonant cluster.
And comparing English for a minute with Spanish, which is a language that Rez and I know fairly well, the one big difference with pronunciation is that in Spanish, consonant clusters are much less common, especially at the beginning of words. And Spanish often puts an extra vowel sound to break up or divide the consonant cluster. So for this reason, you may hear a Spanish speaker pronounce school instead of school. Or as we mentioned at the beginning, street might become street because a Spanish speaker might really want to put that extra vowel there because it sounds better. So be careful of that if you're a Spanish speaker.
Craig, a language which I can't speak but I'm very fond of, which I really like, has the opposite phenomenon. I'm quite a big fan of Portuguese because it has so many vowel clusters. I really love that about Portuguese. I think it's a beautiful language, particularly sung. So when you get these sounds like jau, or the word for bread is pão, it's like, oh, what? No consonant at the end? Nope, just a couple of vowels.
It makes it sound very soft and very musical, doesn't it?
Or the vowels, there seems to be loads of vowels in there. So I love the fact that Portuguese has loads of vowel clusters.
So yeah, to summarize that then, if you are a Spanish speaker, just know that Spanish words often follow the pattern of consonant, vowel, consonant. Two consonants together can feel a little strange for you. So we'll give you a few more examples for you to practice with us. Reza, what's the first word on the list?
The first word we've got for you is scratch. That's whenever you make two things, two surfaces rub across each other. For example, I could say, be careful not to scratch the table with your keys. Yeah, can you imagine a key on a wooden table? If you move the key across the table, it would go and make a terrible, terrible impression on the table, a terrible mark. So that would be to scratch. So we got actually two consonant clusters. We got at the beginning the scr, and at the end the ch, scratch.
You can also start from scratch, can't you? If you start from the beginning, you start from zero, you start from scratch. And you can scratch your body if you're itching, if you have an itch somewhere. The next word is task. So we've got the consonant cluster SK, which is tarea in Spanish. And you might say, well, that's not too difficult. Yeah, but what if you've got more than one task? Then you've got to add another consonant, the S on the end, and you've got tasks. Say that with me. Tasks. You need to complete several tasks before Friday, for example.
An interesting one, I think, is clothes. I'll spell that word for you. C-L-O-T-H-E-S. Clothes, the things you wear. Like, don't forget to pack your winter clothes. So we've got the cl at the beginning, which is a consonant cluster. And then at the end, we got the letters T-H-E-S. And those of you who've been paying attention will remember that I said TH, those two letters, don't form a consonant cluster. That's right. They're th. And then we got a vowel E, and then we got S. So it doesn't look like a consonant cluster, but it is because the letter E is silent. So we've got th together with s. So th plus is, sorry for sounding so ridiculous, but that's what it is. V, and then adds gives you clothes.
And many Spanish speakers that I teach find that difficult to say. There is a workaround. A workaround is a way of getting a similar result by doing a different thing. And I don't really recommend this, but I'll say it anyway. Obviously, the best thing to do is to pronounce it correctly, put the tongue between your teeth and make that th sound, clothes. But you can substitute a V in the th spot. So you're saying clothes, which is easier to say for Spanish speakers. And everyone will understand you because it sounds like you're from where I'm from.
I was going to say.
When that's why you're smiling, isn't it?
I'm smiling. He wants you to do it the Essex way. Danny, he wants you to play say like this. He go, what, mate? Get your clothes on.
Put your clothes on, mate. Is how I would say that. But really, the correct way to pronounce it is clothes, as Reza very expertly demonstrated. We've mentioned the word 12th before. And that gets tricky when you're using that as a date, for example. His birthday is on the 12th of July.
Oh, wow. Funny you should say that because today's the 12th of July, isn't it?
That's why I said it.
And although it's nothing to do with this podcast whatsoever, if you've got a couple of minutes to kill and you're curious, Google 12th of July, Ireland, and see what you get. See what you get on Google. Today is an important day in Ireland and Irish history, particularly these days in Northern Ireland. 12th of July is a public holiday, or it used to be, which commemorates a very famous battle when King William of Orange defeated King James. So this very day is a very important day in Irish history. A good day or a bad day? There, I really better bite my tongue. I'm not going to comment. It depends what side of the fence you sit on.
What your politics are.
Yeah, the 12th of July is a very divisive day in Irish politics.
Let's take a quick break here because I know you listen to this podcast to take your English to the next level. But what about your speaking? Is your fluency improving? Are you happy with your speaking skills? My conversation course focuses on making you a more confident and more fluent English speaker. You'll join me and a small group of motivated students, and we'll meet on Zoom and have topical discussions, role plays, debates, and presentations that will expand your vocabulary and help you express yourself effectively in English. So be proactive and take the first step towards becoming a confident and fluent English speaker. Send me an email today to craig@inglespodcast.com and I'll send you details of the next online conversation course. Thanks for listening. Now let's get back to the podcast. Earlier we mentioned the verb to rob when you're adding an ed on that to make it past simple, so you've got the voiced robbed sound. But what happens when a verb is not voiced or not end in a voiced consonant? For example, the verb to ask. Then you need to add a t, which is an unvoiced consonant because the air is coming through your teeth and it's not activating the voice box in your throat. So there's no vibration in your throat or on top of your head. If you put your hand there, it's only sound coming through the teeth. It's a t sound. So with verbs like to ask, to help, to dance, to talk, to laugh, to look, and to miss, all of those verbs are unvoiced, so we just add a t sound. So listen and repeat after me. Asked, helped, danced, talked, laughed, looked, and missed. And if you're interested in knowing more about ed endings on past regular verbs, and why wouldn't you, go to episode 60, inglespodcast.com/60. We did a complete podcast on how to pronounce those ed endings on past regular verbs.
Our next example has two consonant clusters, one at the beginning and one at the end. Shrimp. That's shrimp, shrimp. And a shrimp is a type of shellfish, which you can eat, although I believe, Craig, you're not a big fan of shrimps.
Not a huge fan. I eat them sometimes. I don't mind a shrimp cocktail from time to time. And we're very lucky to live near a place down the coast, Denia, which has possibly the best shrimps I've ever tasted. So, yeah, when I'm in Denia and I can go to the market and get fresh shrimps, that's not easy to say. Say that with me. Fresh shrimps, then they're absolutely wonderful. Similar to a word we had before, task, we've got the word text. So that's the text. But when you add an S to that, it becomes even trickier because then you've got several texts. I've received several texts from my boss. Say that word with me, texts. Reza, have you received many texts recently?
No more than usual, I have to say. Our next word is accept. Let's see if you can say it, listeners. Accept. So we've got ax at the beginning, ax, and at the end, accept.
Do you accept my resignation, for example? Or I can't
From the podcast? No, I can't.
You're not accepting it. Another word which is tricky is crisps. Crisps. And you've got the word crisp, which is crunchy. For example, the skin on the chicken was very crispy. And crisps are what you'd say in Spanish, papas, or in American English, potato chips. So crisps, difficult word, very useful in a pub if you go and have a pint of lager, a pint of beer, and a packet of crisps. So say that expression with me, packet of crisps. A packet of crisps. Can I have a packet of crisps, please?
I know someone who could never say this word till the day they died, and that's my dad. And it has very fond memories for me, this word, because we would tease him and get him to say it. It's like, so he'd say, "No, pass me that over." If it was a packet of crisps, he'd go, what, this? And I'd deliberately give him something else. "Oh, the chocolate there." You go, no, pass me that." "Oh, what, you want the sugar?" No, that's like, "Oh, what is it?" He's like, "Just pass it."
You wouldn't say
Go
it.
on, say it. Good, the crisps, got ya. It's a crisps instead of crisps.
Yeah, my wife does as well because she's a Spanish speaker and she'll say, "Can I have some crisps?" It's crisps. Crisps. That's the word. Speaking of numbers, as we did before with 12th, you've got another ordinal number. When it's 6, it's sixth. So that's difficult because you've got the x of the X sound, and then immediately you've got to put your tongue between your teeth to get that th sound, that TH sound. So say it with me, sixth. She came in 6th place in the race. That's difficult.
Whoa.
She came in 6th place in the race. You try that, Reza.
She came in 6th place in the race.
6th place.
And of course, as we said earlier with the word 12th, with all fractions, it can be a plural because there could be 5/6, and you have to add an S, making it even harder. 5/6.
What about 6/12?
Oh, that is not easy.
So these clusters, these groups of consonant sounds, they require very quick, precise and tricky tongue movements and mouth movements. And you need practice. Your muscles need to be working because remember, if you're speaking another language as your mother tongue and then you're learning English, all the sounds don't translate. It doesn't mean to say that you'll be speaking English with exactly the same sounds as you use in Spanish. Sometimes you have to learn new sounds, new combinations of letters that make sounds, and you need to practice those to get them right. So how can people practice, Reza?
Well, I think a very useful way of getting consonant clusters right, not just for specific words, but in general to help you approach them in a relaxed way, is to break the cluster, the little group, into parts and practice slowly. For example, we had the word earlier, shrimps. That's not easy to say. So how can we break that down? Well, take away everything after the first initial sound. So we could say shrim. So that would be the letters S-H-R-I-M. So forget about the P and the S at the end. Just say S-H-R-I-M, shrim. Then add the P, which gives you the singular word, shrimp. And then to make it plural, now add the S, shrimps. But do it without talking in the middle like me. So you go shrim, shrimp, shrimps. Do it a few times if necessary. Shrimp, shrimp, shrimps. Just build it up.
And another example with the verb to drench, when you put that verb in the past, it's regular, so you just add ed and the word becomes drenched. And drenched is completely immersed in water. If you drench something, then you put it in water. You can go out in the rain and suddenly it rains very heavily. There's a downpour, maybe a rainstorm. You get completely drenched. So again, break it down, as Reza said. D-R-E-N, dren, dren. Then add the CH sound, ch, drench, drench. And then the final ED, as we said before, is just a t. So it becomes drenched. Say that with me, drenched. So one way you can also practice this is by using audio recordings along with the technique shadowing or echoing that we've spoken about before. You can use this podcast episode. Just repeat after us. Keep pausing and stopping the audio after an example sentence or us demonstrating the pronunciation, and just repeat. And then listen to the next bit and then stop and repeat constantly, saying after us, not in your head, but actually saying the word loud. And then that's a really good way of copying native speakers and improving your pronunciation.
Another thing you could do is most audio players or just built into mobile phones in general these days have a way of playing things more slowly. So maybe play the words at half speed and you'll hear the cluster better. So instead of you hearing drenched, you might hear drenched.
Then you'll get people speaking like that. I got drenched yesterday. Another thing you could do is to use the phonemic transcription, the IPA, not the beer, but the pronunciation alphabet.
Well, the beer would probably help. They do say that if you have one beer but not two, that helps your pronunciation. Have you heard that?
They do say that, yeah. Although if you have too many, then it completely twists your tongue, doesn't it? But you can use the phonemic transcription to help you because, as Reza said at the beginning of this podcast, we don't always pronounce words in English the way that they are written. So to see an example, we've written in the show notes here, street, and you can see the phonemic transcription there in the show notes. Go to inglespodcast.com/585.
Another thing you could do is to practice by using minimal pairs. A minimal pair is two words which sound very, very, very similar, almost identical, but there's just a very slight difference between the pronunciation of them. That's a minimal pair. For example, consider the word sip, which means to drink a very small quantity of something. Let's see if I can use a sound to demonstrate. Imagine I've got a nice glass of IPA beer, not International Phonetic Alphabet, but IPA beer in front of me, and I go, I had a little sip. So that's SIP, sip. Compare it to the word SLIP, slip. So all I've done is add the letter L and therefore the sound L. But of course, by doing that, now I've created a consonant cluster, so it's slightly more difficult to pronounce. So maybe compare an easier word with a slightly more difficult word with a consonant cluster, which are minimal pairs. sip, slip. Or you could do the same with pit and split. So we have sip and slip, and we have pit, split. So minimal pairs can help you build up to pronouncing the consonant clusters better.
Another idea is to record your voice and compare your recording to native speakers. One way to do this is to go to YouTube and find your favorite actor or actress, or watch something on Netflix and imitate the native speaker by using a voice-to-text program similar to the one you'd find in Google Docs, for example. Activate your microphone. What sentence is the native speaker saying? Can I get close to the way they're pronouncing it? Now, if you don't get close to the way they're pronouncing it, then the Google Docs or the voice-to-text program will not write exactly what you want it to. It will write what you have pronounced. So that's a really good way of identifying if you're pronouncing the words correctly. Can the computer understand your English as you want it to?
Okay, now it's your turn to practice your English. What do you find difficult about English pronunciation? Is it consonant clusters, or maybe it's something else? Maybe it's stress, maybe it's intonation? Tell us, and perhaps we'll even record a podcast about it. The best way would be by actually practicing, so send us a voice message. There's a link in the show notes to speakpipe.com/English podcast, where you can record an audio message where you can leave as many consonant clusters as you like in the 90-second limit.
Or if you prefer using text, you can send us an email with a comment or question. Emails go to me, Craig, CRAIG, @inglespodcast.com. And to write to Reza, you need to write to Belfast Reza, Belfast the city, and Reza, REZA, @gmail.com.
And if you're a Spanish speaker and you want to improve your English with either free or paid resources, you could check out the Mansión Inglés website. Simply go to mansioningles.com. And if you're looking specifically for paid products, you could browse the online store, the shop. For that, go to store.mansioningles.net.
We also want to thank our lovely Patreon supporters who help to keep this podcast going and alive. And you too can join our Patreon program and show your appreciation. And by doing so, you get instant access to transcriptions of this podcast so that you can see every word that we say and also practice your pronunciation. You can also get invitations to monthly Zoom chats with me so that we can have an informal conversation and you can practice your speaking in English. For more information, go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/English podcast.
It would be lovely to read every single Patreon sponsor's name on each episode, but that would take up a lot of time. So, as usual, we'll just say thank you to our most recent supporters who joined this month, and they are A. Reina, Maria Lara, and Liliana Torres. Thanks to you, but also all of our Patreon supporters.
Please join us for next week's episode, in which you'll learn some words and phrases that every architect should know. And many thanks to Denise from Greece for suggesting the topic for next week's podcast. Until next time, thank you for listening this week. It's been a pleasure having your company. Until next time, it's goodbye from me.
And it's bye-bye from me.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please tell your friends. And we remind you that the music is by Pitts. The track is called See You Later.